Diane and Denmark here, rah, 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 it is Friday, hurry, 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 the weekend. We made it to the end of another week. I hope you're all fine and well this morning. You'll notice, usually I would film in my kitchen, but the family are at home at the moment. If you watched my videos the last couple of days, you'll know that coronavirus is here in Denmark, and Denmark is officially closed for the next 2 weeks. So all government employees are working from home. They've got full pay. All universities, creche, kindergarten, all that is closed. Many of the stores are closed, and things like, museums, swimming pools, movie theatres, all those are closed right now, and we're all, taking precautions, being sensible about things, but carrying on as normal. There's no panic here. And also, since the family are at home, if you know my channel, you know that my YouTube channel is not about my family. I like to give my family privacy. You'll never see my family on my videos. I like to give them a bit of distance. And as they're around today, I'm filming down here. Now, down here is one of our basement rooms. This is actually my office. Now, I won't show you my office part because I've got private stuff there. But this is also our family kind of games room. We've got the treadmill, the weights. Those aren't mine, those are the kids. And we've got it set up, for gaming. We've got an old television there. And I thought I would just, and I've also got my sewing machine at the end of the table there. I thought I would carry on with our 40-day declutter challenge. And I've got an item from in here. If you're working on the Flylady Zones, maybe you want to take something from the kitchen. And remember, we're just looking for one item here. We're on to, drum roll please, day 17. And we're just looking for one item. It doesn't need to be a huge box of things or a huge bag every day, because you know what happens with that. The first couple of days you do really well, and then something comes up, corona or whatever it is, or illness in the family, or maybe you just can't be bothered that day, and then you let it slip. We're just looking for one thing, and keep posting on Instagram, #Diane in Denmark, because I know that thing when you say, oh, I really didn't want to do it, but I found something. That is so motivating, not only for you, but for the rest of us. We've got to keep each other going here. So I'll tell you what my item is. And we'll just kind of backtrack a wee bit and come closer. Oh, but keep your distance, it's Corona times. Hold on. So my item, my declutter item for today is going to be this small table air hockey thing. Now this was a Christmas present for somebody a couple of years ago. And the other day, one of the ladies in my ladies group, I'm in this international ladies group, she was giving away for free a big size air hockey table. Still works, it's a bit bashed, but we can definitely clean it up. So now that this one is coming in, this one is going out. So it's also quite a useful rule if you've got, if you buy a new pair of Wellington boots, maybe you've got a couple of old pairs that can go out, just keep on with this. If something comes in, something goes out, and that really helps keep down the clutter. And I'm going to keep the extra pucks and whatever, but this is a great addition to our games room down here. And just a little check-in with everything else about routines. Just let me sit down and get my notes. Yeah, a little update on our routines. Remember, just to keep going strong with your routines, especially in times like these. Our kids are at home, and my husband for the next couple of weeks, and it's kind of easy to kind of slide and say, well, I don't need to get up so early in the morning because I'm not going to school. But I know that after a couple of days. And it's the same, if you've had any time of vacation or around Christmas, that after a couple of days things really start to slide. So, we don't need to get up quite so early in the morning, but we do need to, just that fact of getting dressed, not walking around in pajamas all day, because it drags you right down. And, the slower you get, the less you do and the less motivated. And then it's really you start checking the news too much and all the doom and gloom. You know, just keep going with your basic routines, checking off your normal things, you know, dress to shoes, load of laundry, dishwasher, what's for dinner. I know what's for dinner today. I'm making homemade lasagna. You know, look at your outfit for the next day, so, you know, kind of get up and you can get going. Do a wee bit of zone work or your weekly home blessing hour, daily exercise. I'm still getting out, you know, because I can go out and do my run, you know, just a quick run around the village, or my swim at the sea. So it's just, you know, keeping going, that kind of self-preservation thing. And in the evening, keep going with, you know, drying out your sink at the end of the day, setting up your coffee. That's one of my things, setting up your coffee for the next day. And on the weekly home blessing hour thing, I just wanted to tell you, because, you know, I've been over at my friend Sue. I'm kind of talking about it like that now. Sue, you know, with the 2 broken wrists. I was helping her out, and all of her friends have been helping out because she couldn't do anything. She's got the stitches out now. Everything's going well. She's had steel plates operated into her arms. And I've been over, you know, doing her cleaning for her. Other friends have been coming around with food. We've been getting groceries for her, you know, taking her places, you know, just helping, you know, helping out generally. But I said to you at the beginning of the week, you know, I have to remember about my weekly home blessing hour too. I've got mine all checked off, so that's a check. Also, one of my tasks for the week was to take down the fairy lights on the deck. I've done that. I did it, when was it? When I came back from a run, I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday. We had really heavy rain one day, and I thought, well, I'd rather do it when it was dry. And the next day it was super windy, so I took down the fairy lights from the deck. So check on that. And in Flylady land, it's Friday, which is date night. Clean out your car, or, you know, fill it up with petrol, and I did that the other day. And for us, we use our car, we don't use our car very often, only really for long journeys. We mainly use our bikes for getting to school or work. So if you're in the same kind of situation, you know, check your bike lights. Are the tyres pumped up? And also, you know, if your kids are still at school, when they come home today, empty out those school bags. I know a lot of you are in the same situation as us, where the kids are now at home. But, you know, if they've kind of come home, you've maybe had a few days of settling into this kind of new reality. But, you know, check the backpack, see what's in there. Don't leave the lunchbox lying there for the next 3 or 4 weeks. And, oh yeah, I'm just going to bring up to date with how things generally are in Denmark, because I've told you the last few videos, you know, how things are with the new measures in place. Just how it's, you know, how it affects us on a day-to-day basis. And these are the things that wouldn't be happening for us, that would normally be happening during our week. And it's, now, for anybody says, this is absolutely not, I'm not complaining about any of these things being cancelled or postponed. It's just to show you what we would normally be doing and how things are different with the new health measures in place. For example, I think I said it at the beginning of the video, you know, all fitness centres are closed, libraries, public libraries, all those are closed. Museums, art galleries, football matches are off, swimming pools, all those things are closed, obviously, and all the government institutions, those are closed, apart from critical staff who need to be there. Also, major workplaces here in the private sector, they are organising things differently, sending a lot of workers home with pay, just to make sure that we don't have a lot of people together at the same time. And supermarkets, pharmacies are open. There's a wee bit of panic buying on the first couple of days, but actually things have kind of settled down now. There's plenty of supplies, there's plenty of milk, you know, bread. There's so much toilet here. It's really funny because the stores are actually putting outside, I think, to show that people, like, you know, don't panic, we've got this. And, you know, if people will just stick to their regular habits and not buying for, you know, months at a time, but, you know, just your usual thing, and maybe an extra bag of, I don't know, rice or pasta, whatever it is. Something that came up. If it's not kind of so organised where you are, some of the things that we always keep on hand, which are really useful, are bags of frozen vegetables, obviously things like rice and pasta and all the canned goods. And I don't know if you remember, I did a video along with Steph, you know, Steph, my friend, the Secret Slob. We did a video, when was it? In January? Was it December? Of 5 go-to meals that we always have on hand, things that you have in your freezer or your pantry for those days where, you know, something happens. You might want to go and have a wee look at that. My son today, he is making the chocolate cake that's made with black beans. You don't even need flour stuff for that. That's on my recipes and playlist. So just keep things like that on hand. I like to keep dry yeast on hand. There was in the first day of panic buying here, everybody's buying yeast. I like to keep, I've got plenty of sachets of the dried stuff. Oh, and I've also got that great recipe for rolls that you just mix it. You don't even have to knead it. Mix it with a wee bit of yeast, leave it overnight or during the day. That's on the recipes and playlists. Anyway, I'll tell you what is not happening for us, which would have been happening in the next couple of weeks. For example, my daughter, my DD17, dear daughter 17, she was supposed to be going on a school trip to Tübingen in Germany. They were supposed to be leaving Monday. That is, of course, cancelled. My son, who's at also in high school, my DS, dear son 20, their gala party was cancelled, and this was actually before Denmark was shut down by the government. Those had already been cancelled because we've had these kind of measures in place for a few weeks now. I was supposed to be going to see John Hopkins in concert. That has not been cancelled, it's been postponed, so that's fine. The ice swim that was meant to be taking part in, that has also been postponed, probably until next year. We can't have it later this year because it'll be too warm for swimming. What else? My daughter, she goes to martial arts, and all those obviously are cancelled, and things like, you know, scouts, football practice, all that of course is stopped right now. My husband normally goes to a book club, that obviously is off. I was supposed to be going to 2 public clothes swaps and a private clothes swap. Those are all off the cards at the moment. And I also plan to go to the cinema to see Emma with a friend. That is not happening. And it's also one of the most fun things. I was supposed to be going a pub crawl with the ladies from my ladies group. That is also postponed right now. So I mean, no real hardship, but just to tell you how it's actually affecting us on, you know, a day-to-day basis. But as before, you can always get out and do your exercise, take a wee walk around the block, and just the usual thing, wash your hands with soap and water. When we come into the house in Denmark, in Denmark there's a no outdoor shoes indoors anyway. That's the common thing here. So as soon as you come in from outside, we take off our shoes and they go in baskets. Coats, they go in the hall cupboard, and then, you know, we wash our hands with soap and water. We carry hand sanitizer for when we are out. You keep your distance. And I saw this morning when I was down for my skinny dip sea swim, I actually saw a group that we often see out, you know, doing their running and their outdoor exercise. And we could see that this morning they were running with a big one-leg long big line, and normally, you know, they're kind of in twos and chatting away, but there was actually, you know, a couple of meters between each runner. So, you know, it's possible to still do things, but please take it, you know, take this thing seriously. And a really good rule of thumb that we've been told is just to imagine that we are all infected. Imagine that we're all infected. What would you do if you knew you were infected? You wouldn't go visiting your granny. You wouldn't be going outside, you know, doing lots of shopping that's not necessary. So, you know, just think about it that way. The reason that we are trying not to be out and about and keeping our distance is because it's a very, very infectious thing, coronavirus. and it really is harsh on anybody who's in one of those high-risk groups. And you know, we're not just talking about people over a certain age. It's anybody with you know, chronic illness, heart illness, diabetes, cancer, anybody who's, you know, undergoing treatment for something else. That's why we've got to really protect the others here. You know, take that step back and say, you know, do I really have to go out and do that? If it's not necessary, stay home. Just, you know, imagine that, you know, we're already infected. Let's try and help everybody else in this situation. And just actually when it came to that, you know, if you can help out somebody in that category who cannot go out and get their groceries, you know, give them a call. Is there anything that you can pick up for them? You know, you don't need to go into their house, but you can deliver their groceries to them. Also, the Danish church, I think I've mentioned it before in my videos. State and church are linked here. So all the priests are at home on full pay, and the church singers, and there are no services right now, no births, no, you know, christenings, no church services. But I saw that the priests over in the island of Bornholm, one of the Danish islands, they have set up a helpline, so if any of their parishioners need groceries bought, they can ring and they will arrange for that. And also if anybody needs a listening ear, that they're ready to listen. So just a wee word to keep going out there. And Fridays also, I think I mentioned, sorry, I'm knocking everything around here. I don't have much in my handbag right now, apart from my hand sanitizer and my lipstick, a few snotty hankies. Those will be going straight in the bin. And just, you know, keep your spirits up out there. I noticed our wee daffodils are coming up in the garden, so, you know, maybe get yourself a wee bloom. And also, you know, keep doing the things that give you a wee bit of pleasure. I'm finished with 2 books right now. I'll just quickly tell you about that. I mean, it's Friday. If you've got a wee minute, just hold on. Right, the first one was an audiobook actually recommended by one of the lovely ladies here, so thanks for the recommendation. It was a good, exciting read, The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. It's a British one. And you know, just you know, having your cordless headphones on while you're going around doing your stuff, it really takes you right out of everything else that's happening in the world right now. You know me, I love my music, so whenever I'm doing whether I'm out running, I'm not so keen on running on the treadmill. I prefer to run outside. I've always got my music. Or if I'm doing my weekly home blessing hour and I'm running around with my wee caddy, I've always got the music going. The other book was a locked room mystery, a Japanese one. Well, it wasn't fantastic, but it's a short read, only about 180 pages. And I'll be starting a new one today. And I'm trying to think, do I have it? I don't have it down here. I can't show you, but anyway. And just at the very end of this video, and I mentioned on Instagram yesterday, one of my daily joys is we've got a little Perspex bird feeder that sticks onto the window, you know, with suction cups. And it's just, I don't know, it's just one of those small pleasures that really, you know, take you out of everything else that's happening in the world and just put a wee smile on your face. Okay, so I'll put that on at the end of the video. And I better give you a rah. Anyway, I'll see you on Instagram over the weekend. Routine's going as normal. So all I've got left to say is live long and prosper. May the Danish hygge be with you. Okay, I don't have any candles down here, but there we are, a wee bit of hygge. First spring hygge, and rah. Okay, here come the birdies.